Welcome everybody to the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card, one that I hope will be one of those sort of fun readings. That's what I always hope for when I say that. Sometimes I get a little bit serious, but this is just meant to be a kind of exploration, a little bit of fantasy, a bit of fun, a little bit of getting to know oneself through the sort of art of the Wonderland, the trip to Oz, the liminal space, all of that kind of thing, using an absolutely exceptionally beautiful new tarot deck that I have, which is called The Journey to Oz and Wonderland, which is an ingenious idea in itself, quite apart from how extraordinarily beautiful it is, which is kind of connecting the sort of the characters and the stories of both The Wizard of Oz and also Alice in Wonderland as two exploratory, beautiful, incredible fantasy stories that I think teaches a lot about humanity. And quite frankly, those books were both extremely good social commentaries as well as being extraordinary sort of fantasy novels to be immersed in and so forth. So it operates on many, many levels. So the idea of joining them together for this kind of like branched out fantasy world is extraordinary. I think it's inspired. It's by a organisation called the Mystic Madness Tarot. And it says on the back, crafted by Matthew Stuckey and Jerry Chantharvong. I hope I'm pronouncing the names correctly. Absolutely gorgeous. I think you're going to be stunned by the beauty of it. I was sort of breathtaken. And I think you can already see it with three of the cards there, just how extraordinarily beautiful this deck is. Now, I am not an incredible literary expert on either of those pieces of work. I've probably, like most people, seen the movies at some point, probably read them when I was young. So I'm not going to be particularly looking at this to sort of talk about the characters and how it connects to the different stories in any great detail. But if I feel like something like that, I want to talk about that, I will. I'll refer to the guidebook to just make sure that I've got my canon right. But I'm looking more for this just to transport you into your own Oz, your own Wonderland. And we'll be looking at, what is it like? What makes you feel at home there? What surprises you, empowers you, makes you grow? And then I'm also going to use a second tarot deck from Susan Wiggum. Many people will know I'm a big fan of her work. I have many of her decks. This is her Isra Tarot, and it's a tarot that's really urban. And so that bit of it, I want to sort of say, okay, what do you bring back from that world to the real world? How's that changed you in the real world? And then we'll look at various other oracles for some more information. So as I say, hopefully this is just going to be fun. Hopefully it's a really lovely exploration and using really beautiful decks. But we will see what we get. So as I usually do in these sort of situations, I will shuffle the deck. I shuffled the deck and asked the spirit team that sort of support me and I channel through to bring out for each of the piles in order the first three major arcana cards that came to represent some of the energy of the Oz/Wonderland fantasy world that is yours. So for pile number 1, we have the Sun. For pile number 2, we have Strength. And for pile number 3, we have the Chariot. So one of those images might draw you. Of course, go to more than one if you would like. Your Oz and Wonderland. Your Oz might be in one and your Wonderland might be in another. Whatever works for you. But when you know what reading or readings you want to go to, the timestamps are in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome pile 1 to your reading. So you came to the reading with the Sun. So it's very interesting that one of the two astrology cards that we got is also the Sun. So I would say, quite before even getting into anything else, your fantasy realm, your liminal space is a place where you really find who you truly are, what you truly desire, what your life purpose is. It's a place where you go to find that out. It's intensely private with the 12th house. It's very, very psychic and spiritual with the 12th house. It's also, I think, that it's a kind of escape sometimes if you feel that you're not around people who understand you, or where you feel very different in some way, or if you feel blocked. It's a place that you can go to. So I think that's a core part of it. But I feel here, because this is the Garden of Lively Flowers. This is from Alice in Wonderland. And you can see all these really sort of different and happy and lively faces. I feel as though this is where you explore the various aspects of yourself and what it is to be joyful, what it is to be true to yourself, and all the various facets of you, because we are all many things. As Walt Whitman said, something along the lines of, I contain multitudes. So that is who you are, and this is part of who you are. This is a place where you really explore and try out. It's almost like you could try out a lot of things. But I also feel it's a place where if you are not feeling that sort of joy and connection with others, this is a place of escape to find the energies that align with you. Now, I do feel it's worth, yeah, even though I don't want to focus on the difference about whether it's Oz or Wonderland specifically as we go through, because otherwise the readings are going to be incredibly long. But I do think it's worth actually looking at the story, the aspect of the story for the card that you've chosen. So as I said, this is from Alice in Wonderland. And it's about her coming across the garden of lively flowers. So I'll just read from the guidebook. "It's the fresh air that does it," said the rose. "Wonderfully fine air it is out here." The sun shined brightly upon an enchanted garden, revealing the vibrant personalities of the lively flowers. Each flower with its unique voice sang in perfect harmony with one another. Captivated by their charm, Alice joined in playful banter, reveling in their presence. Their joyful chorus echoed throughout the garden, creating an atmosphere of warmth and vitality. So this talks a lot about self-discovery, I think harmony, as I say, the various sides of you, and being able to try that on and connect and find connection with others. So I feel like it's a very personal energy for you when you go into this. This is about you learning who you are, knowing what you want to do next, and communing with sort of spirit energies, guides and so forth that get you, who understand you. So I feel like you're very psychic, you're very different. You're very enthusiastic about what you do, but maybe it's a little bit different, a little bit more colorful than some of what's around you. So I think this is how this journey, when you go into this sort of realm, this is what you get. So let's ask a little bit more about this personal wonderland. What is it like in both its beauty and happiness, and also in any of the sort of perils or challenges that you might have to let you really truly discover your life's purpose. The Chariot, oh, that's interesting. So this could connect you to pile 3, the Flying Monkeys. The Knight of Pentacles, the Empress, the Star reversed, the 5 of Swords reversed, the Magician reversed. Okay. So the first thing I get really strongly, and this is going to be very specific, it's not going to be everybody, but for some of you, if you no longer have your mother with you in your life, if she has passed on, I feel as though you can connect with her there. I feel as though she's there watching over you and your dreams and protecting your dreams, particularly if in the workplace or in material things there are any kind of blockages and so forth. She wants to sort of get you moving in your direction. Now that's only if she's passed. It's not a prediction of your mother passing or anything like that. It's only if it's already happened. But I just felt that really strongly when I saw that there. Beyond that, this is definitely where you connect with your destiny and where you feel a momentum, particularly around what you want to do in the material world. It's like it's the place. Now, you might mainly go through this in dreams. It might be in meditation. You might write stories. You might sort of imagine this sort of thing. You might be drawn to video games that are like this. But there's something where this gives you a momentum on the material things that you want to do and on what you want to create in the world. If you are feeling misunderstood, it helps you, it replenishes you so that you don't give up, because Spirit doesn't want you to give up. And if you have been dealing with those who don't understand you or who your communication is different than, it allows you to find a place where your quirkiness, your difference can be heard. It is possible though, because this will also show challenges with the Magician reversed, that some of what you're dealing with in the material world shows up in some form where there is miscommunication or trickster energy. So if it is happening, say, in a dream state or say a video game or something like that, there's something here. It's a bit mercurial. It's a little bit hard to fully trust. And this is the thing I think that's meant to challenge you to make sure that you don't give up on your dreams, you stay the course, that it's almost like it's practice for dealing with whatever's going on in the material world where you feel different. So I think this is a place of recalibrating your desire, recalibrating your aim, knowing what you want to create, and almost practicing out the battles and the issues that you would have in the material world that get in the way of your dreams. So it's almost like a training ground for you. So let's see what makes you feel at home in this personal realm, this personal wonderland, this personal Oz. the King of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Six of Pentacles reversed, the Seven of Cups reversed, and the Page of Swords reversed. Okay, so it's a more emotionally fulfilling place. You feel at home there, you feel understood emotionally. You also feel that the newness of your ideas, because you're very original and your life path is very original, you feel as though it fits in there. You feel as though you can kind of express it in some way there, and that you are amongst equals. So it's not like sort of someone's going to be your boss and decide whether something goes forward, or, you know, a parent deciding what's going to happen. That you feel like you're amongst equals, and that it's not too sentimental, interestingly enough. But there is certainly something that is something you're dealing with in the material world, I think, which is around communication and who to trust with communication. So you kind of, the bit that there's a trickster energy there doesn't faze you, because you're used to that. You're very familiar with that. And it may be something you've dealt with in your home life or something like that. But why you feel at home here is that your emotional difference, your emotional genius, your emotional, you know, you could be neurodivergent, emotionally sort of different, something like that. You find your kind here, and it's not, nothing in what is different is sort of seen as sort of over the top emotional, or as, you know, a kind of a limit, or too much. It's like, it's seen as pragmatic. It's seen as, yes, this fits here. What is different, what is quirky about you fits here. Yeah, so even when the communication's a bit weird or elliptical, you're able to deal with it. So you're at home because you're amongst equals, you're emotionally understood, and you are able to sort of think differently. So this is really about, you are people who are very different from the norm. Like, and it doesn't mean you're abnormal. It just means that you're different, you're quirky, you're creative, you're innovative, you're all of those sort of things. And sometimes that isn't understood in sort of the day-to-day world. But in this world, it fits. So what surprises you or empowers you or makes you grow? What's the sort of energy like that you have when you go into this realm? This is the Ace of Cups. Drink me. Oh, that's interesting. The Ten of Swords, sorry. The Ten of Swords. The Witch. So that's actually an additional major arcana card. And the King of Swords. Okay. What surprises you, challenges you, empowers you? Perspective. Emotional perspective. And your emotional size, in a way, you fit emotionally here in a way that you don't, and you can also be flexible about that. So you can sort of go from the Ace of Cups to the King of Cups. In this environment, you can be what you need to be emotionally. It's not, you're not kind of, there's something about you that's multifaceted, and I think you get frustrated because in the real world it's sort of like you have to be this one thing, whereas there you don't. What may surprise and empower you is that there is a challenge for you also in coming into your kind of inner magic and being able to break through mental patterns that have held you back. So there's sort of something there, and there's maybe a guide, I think, a guide energy that is, there's this very warm energy, but there's a guide energy that also wants you to really think, wants you to sort of break through these things, wants you to come into your own power, wants you to understand your size, your heft, what you bring. So, but I feel like this King of Swords there is like a guide. It's like an energy to challenge you a bit. And it's interesting, it's falling with the Page of Swords and the Magician. So there's a sort of a sense of maybe somebody who's a bit of a trickster energy, pushes you, communicates strangely, is to help you get to something. So I'm feeling like I actually do want to look this one up in the book as well, just to see where it comes from. So this is in Alice's Adventures as well. And it says, amidst the labyrinth of wonders, Alice's chance meeting with the gnat pushes her boundaries of comprehension. Though intimidating in size, the gnat's true nature is rooted in knowledge, wisdom, and the insatiable quest for understanding. This sage insect, much like the King of Swords, prompts Alice to pierce through the superficial fears, delve deep into philosophical discussions, and challenge her own perceptions. So it's a symbol of critical thinking and of getting past the mystery. And I think it's challenging you to kind of really confront what your own inner power is and that kind of energy, and and to understand emotionally that you can be whatever you need to be here. So I think it's a positive energy for you. I think you fit right in here. So let's see with the Isra Tarot then. I'm just going to pull 3 cards from this tarot because it's quite a large tarot. But I just want to pull 3 cards for how this translates back into the material world for you. You know, is it an easy translation? Is it challenging? Is it a bit of both? So we have the 8 of Wands reversed, the Lovers, the High Priestess. Wow, okay. So it's a little bit challenging in that I think when you are in this sort of liminal space, in this wonderland, you can move quickly, you can change quickly, you can, like the Chariot, everything goes fast, all the learning is quick. I think the material world slows it all down a bit, but having said that, you're drawing in this witchy power, this High Priestess energy. It's the more that you are in this space and you take this guidance, the more that you enhance your psychic ability. And it does help you find the right people, the people who would sort of be delighted to see you, the people that you do connect with. So this is not only sort of distilling who you are in a private place where you can really explore it and learning about the communication and your difference and how to move with that. But I think it's also teaching you how to connect with people on the material level in a way, understanding that they go a bit slower than you, they think a bit slower than you, they're not as imaginative as you, but there can still be harmony. So that's really, really lovely. Okay, so what we want to look at is what you experience in there. So in terms of the people that you meet, because both those stories, a lot of the story is in the characters that Alice and Dorothy met. So let's see firstly a couple of characteristic energies that you display when you're in this realm, and then a couple of characteristic energies that come towards you. So what you display. Morals. Okay, so you have a very strong moral compass. You know what is right. You want to look to the good. You want to follow your life path, all of those sort of things. We also have, and that's interesting. This one might challenge you around that, just not to make you immoral or anything like that or amoral, but it's sort of like getting you to sort of test out your thinking. I think there's a lot about your thinking. You think very, very smart, a bit smarter than the average person, which is why you kind of retreat into this world. And spiritual beliefs. So you have very strong sense of what is right and wrong. So when you're there, you won't be drawn into the trickster energy. You'll learn from it. What do you meet then when you're in this realm? Mature. Okay, yeah, I think this is this guide. There's sort of like a guide. And I also think for at least some of you, there maybe is a past loved one, most likely a mother, if your mother has passed on. As I say, it's not a prediction of that. So mature energy, a bit more grown up than maybe what you're dealing with in the real world. And logical. Yeah, this is this energy. Very strong guide. You've got a very strong sort of mercurial, air-oriented guide, like mind-oriented guide, which makes sense because you're very, very clever. So let's also get astrology pairing for the energy that you show and energy that you meet there. Okay, Moon and Mercury. So you show the action that comes from the heart, the action that comes from the spiritual beliefs. I feel like in the real world, because you're so different, you're so quick, you're so clever, you often do withdraw a bit. You kind of feel you have to withdraw a bit, whereas I think in this world you feel a bit unfettered. Like I can feel what I want, I can do what I want, I can align my emotions with my actions. And the other thing that interests me actually about this card, which just struck me because I forgot about this card, is this is a fantastical place where things can be surprising and you've got this very mercurial energy. This is the Moon and Mars, but it's called Moon Mercury. So I feel like this is a very divine masculine type of energy. It doesn't matter what gender you are or identify with. I feel like it's a very divine masculine energy. There's a very male spirit energy here, but it's a bit of a trickster, but it's doing it to help you make decisions about what you want to do emotionally. And so you're going to kind of show that similar energy yourself. You draw it in because it's kind of part of you. And then the energy that comes towards you is Sun and Chiron. This is again, there's the Sun energy, this divine masculine type of energy that is a healing energy. It's like, and this energy knows, this place understands that you're very much of the mind, you're very clever, that's often where you're misunderstood, but it delights in it, and it wants to heal that sense. It wants you to find who you are. This is what this is all about, finding who you are. So, and like that's interesting too with the sun and the moon. It may help you bring into being, if you aren't already in a love match in the world, it may be meant to bring you action and information and healing to be able to do that as well. So this is really lovely. I think this is a beautiful place for you to be. Okay, so what inner magic does it bring you? And what do you encounter? So we'll look at a magic that you create in there and magic that you encounter in there. So magic that you create in there, minimus, commune with the source. Now that's interesting because of this drink me vial, because minimus suggests to me like bringing everything down to its most essential point. So I think there's sort of something like that, like and the capacity to move at any size through things to get to anything. This very much connects you to your spiritual being, to your emotional purpose, to your life purpose. But I think there's sort of something here also about bringing everything down to first principles with, communing with the source. So this is a big part of what you're doing there. What about the magic that you come across there? Protection, setting personal boundaries. Yeah, there's a guide. It's really helping you protect, understand relationships, manifest this in the real world. But you're connecting first and foremost with your life path, with source, with the liminal space, and your flexibility and capacity to move in that space. And there is a guide energy there, a very powerful guide energy that is protecting you and bringing you the information that you need. Okay, so let's just see stars that guide you as well in this space. Earth. So it's like there is a star to guide you, to bring you back to earth, to bring you back to the real world. Aquarius. This is the mind again. Your mind is amazing actually, and very future thinking. This is a place that you go, and as I say, whether it's in dreams, whether it's just fantasies that you have, whether it's meditation, where you're a bit ahead in time, to be honest. You're kind of like in a different realm that hasn't yet happened, but is likely to happen. So there's this sort of sense of the future around this. And Virgo, again, like how you can construct this, what you can do with it, what plans can you do with it, how can you heal and integrate it. I think part of this is also to integrate it. Like you go there to bring stuff back because you see the future in this space. So that's very exciting. Okay, so let's just finish off with just a blessing or a message from the Enchanted Forest, because it's about the closest thing beyond the Oz and Wonderland I could get to an enchanted place that you could be in, just to close out the reading. Don't give up. It's okay that things don't always feel easy and effortless. Some of the best moments in life happen during and after hard times. Keep believing. Yeah, I think this is, as I say, I think you are very unique. And so this is a place that you go to process that, to understand how to deal with it, to be able to not give up, to be able to sort of keep moving forward and staying with who you are in your life purpose. You've got a very, very powerful guide, but you've also got just a really lovely energy. You're really adored in this place. Like they really like you, and with good reason, I think, because you're very moral, you're very spiritual. So I hope that you enjoyed that reading. I hope it was a bit of fun. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 2, to your reading. So this pile is definitely for my creatives, my performers, my sort of people who entertain, who enliven, who bring joy, which is a really, really lovely energy. So you came to strength, and strength in this deck is represented by the Cowardly Lion from the Wizard of Oz. So I do want to have a look at and read from the book for the actual card that brought you here, just because I think that nicely sets the scene, and we'll talk about the astrology. So, then, if you don't mind, I'll go with you, said the lion, for my life is simply unbearable without a bit of courage. After receiving liquid courage from the great Oz, the Cowardly Lion became a royal guard of the Emerald City, serving alongside the Hungry Tiger. He faced challenges with grace and determination, conquering obstacles with bravery, resilience, and unwavering loyalty to Ozma. So this is about coming into your own strength, into your own self, into your own heart, all of those sort of energies. And so it's a journey of coming into your strength. I think this is when you go into the liminal space, this is part of how you find it. But I really strongly feel when I see Jupiter here and the fifth house creativity, for some of you, it may be the courage to love and bring the great love in, definitely. So we'll see what we get around relationship. But I think for most of you, this is like strength is connected with Leo, with the performers, the creative, the passionate, Jupiter with bringing of joy, abundance, success, and creativity. I think for many of you, this is a place of major inspiration for creative work, performance work, that kind of thing. So it could be around love as well too. So don't feel you've come to the wrong reading if you don't feel that you're a creative person, but there are many ways to be creative as well, so bear that in mind. But this is a meant to find joy, having doubted oneself. This visit to Wonderland or to Oz is for you to really come into your creative abundance and your creative joy. So really lovely sort of starting point. So let's see with the tarot firstly a bit more about what the personal Wonderland is like, or the personal Oz is like. What makes you feel at home there, what surprises, empowers and makes you grow there. And then we're going to use a second tarot, which is one that's very more urban, by Susan Wiggum, who I use many of her tarots. If you're familiar with this channel, you've seen many of them. And that's to sort of see how what you bring back to the material world, the kind of urban real world, having been here. So, but let's first explore it in a little bit more detail. So what is your personal Wonderland like, pile 2? The Page of Wands, the Three of Wands reversed, the Emperor, it's the Wizard, the Page of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. Just stop for a minute and just take in the beauty of those cards. I'm really quite stunned by them, I have to say. So it's interesting. The Empress came up in another reading roughly there. I think for some, there's stuff around sort of parental figures. It doesn't have to be, but just specifically, I think there could be something about healing or developing or building a relationship and the aspirations and so forth, and connecting with that of a father or paternal figure could be connected to this. Or there could be a guide that's a bit like a paternal figure who actually helps you manifest and decide what you want to be and how you want to manifest things in the world. So there's that as a aside with something like the Emperor coming up. But it's interesting that this is the Wizard of Oz, and as we saw with the guidebook, the lion does get the courage from the Wizard of Oz. So I feel like there's sort of something here where there is a strong guide or a strong energy that's meant to give you courage. Or it might be you coming to terms with your own inner emperor, your own sovereign. And if that's the case, I think you've got a sidekick actually with the Page of Pentacles. I feel like, the fact that this is shown with, Toto. So the dog that was there with Dorothy, I feel like this, like that gives me a kind of a sidekick energy, and if we look at sort of like big sort of movies and Hero's Quest, there's often a sidekick. So there's either a guide and a sidekick, or you come into your own sovereignty and you have a friend or a helper in this space, maybe as an animal, it doesn't have to be a human one, it could be anything. But I think there's some sort of energy like that for you. This is definitely where you find creative inspiration, and it's where you go if you feel a bit lost with the Three of Wands reversed. It's a place to kind of, it's like literally the creative well that you go to and you kind of clear your vision. Like, it's interesting that this Emperor has the sort of like the spectacles on, the Wizard of Oz has these spectacles on. I think it clears your vision, gives you kind of good feedback, good critique and so forth, and reminds you what you love about all of this. Brings you back to your own sort of innocence and your own sort of like joy in doing it. And if you feel alone, it helps you deal with that if you felt alone in some way. I actually feel this is telling me that either the sidekick energy, or if this isn't you, a guide energy, may have been a childhood invisible friend. Some of you may have had an invisible friend and they were really there. So you kind of reconnect to that, something from childhood when you feel lonely is another way or another reason that you would go into this world. But But overall, also if any of this is around you taking on a parental role, which is the other way, because the fifth house can be around sort of like children and so forth. If some of this is about you coming into the courage to take on a parental role, then there's something about the friendships and your own experience of childhood that will inspire you, and this area will take you forward. So it's very much a place of inspiration and reclamation, and it's a place to find those who are supporting you and who are true friends if and when you feel lonely. But I think it's really about you becoming sovereign, because I often think like Leo, the lion, feels sovereign as well. So if that's the personal wonderland, what makes you feel at home there? Why do you feel at home in this place? Ten of Swords, the Lovers, the Seven of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Five of Swords. There's something heroic about you, actually. This is what I would say. It's creative, but it's heroic as well. This is the sort of, again, the sort of courage. I mean, one of the sort of things about, the cowardly lion or the scarecrow or any of those characters, they actually really did embody the things that they felt they lacked. And what the wizard effectively did was make them believe in it. So there is a courage, there is a never give up feeling here. There's a creative and action-oriented energy, like you really come into your own in this place, and you're so brave. Like you creatively and otherwise, you're so brave. And it's interesting because it's like this, almost like you go to it and see this sort of like this sort of house that looks a bit dilapidated, and we've got the Ten of Swords, like the Wicked Witch of the East. So there's the threat. There's a kind of you understand the threat. It goes back to something quite young for you. Like, I don't know whether, some of you had a difficult childhood on some level. That's possible. But, or, whether that your family struggled financially, and so therefore there's sort of like, can I be creative, or do I need to go and make money? But there's like, you understand the challenges there. You have good connections, good relationships, and you are courageous. This is where you are courageous. Which, is meant to then create that courage for you creatively and in other ways in the real world. So let's see what surprises you, empowers you, or makes you grow in this space. The Sun, the Knight of Swords reversed, the Ten of Wands reversed, and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, this is you coming into your sovereignty. Like it absolutely is. Whether it's you coming, getting your creative inspiration and really taking that forward, or whether it's, you becoming a parent, or whether it's you becoming a steward and a leader of others in an abundant and creative way. This is definitely, it's meant to make you grow and become the lion. That's what this is all about. And to relieve burdens, like this is relieving burdens of doubt, self-doubt and so forth, and things that have slowed you down. Also finding your life path with the sun, but also finding it through what is different about you. I love the way that the sun is portrayed here. It's the garden of lively flowers. So there's all these flowers that are sort of like a happy and singing, and so there's sort of a sense of diversity and difference. So I do think that your creativity, your diversity, your difference, your colour, all of that kind of thing. But you're meant to be a very beneficent steward, guide, sovereign, and something like that. And you are brave, and you are able to relieve the burdens of others. You're able to create a legacy. And like, that you don't have to hurry. You know that you can take the time that you need to take. So it's making you see who you could be. That's what going to this place does for you. It's like, it is the truth, but it's the truth that you haven't yet manifest. So that makes it interesting that the next thing I wanted to do with this was use Susan Wiggum's Isra Tarot, which is very urban, because I wanted to get 3 cards. It's quite a large deck. I wanted to get 3 cards that showed how coming out of this, when you come out of being in the Wonderland or Oz, what you bring back to the material world. Ten of Cups reversed, Justice, Three of Wands reversed. Okay. So I do think whatever sort of made you feel like, either you couldn't express yourself or perform the way that you wanted to, or felt, you weren't seen, maybe in your family, or even family karma, family issues, all of that kind of thing. Where that has taken you off course, when you come back, you're back on course, you're back in balance. And if there's something that needs to be championed, you're ready to champion it. So whether you do it through creative work, whether you do it through some sort of political, social work, whether you do it through healing work with family or friends, but you are ready to take up the stand of justice and to clear out energy that was like not productive and not taking you or anybody else in the right way. If you had a kind of writer's block or creative block, you're back in action, baby. You're there, you're ready, you're moving forward. But yeah, this is you finding your strength, and it's considerable, but for some reason it wasn't seen, wasn't acknowledged, or you felt that you couldn't express it. But this is strength to create, to lead, and to be abundant, and to do it with justice, with a good balance. So that's really powerful. So a lot of the story that we have in both those stories is Dorothy or Alice meeting interesting characters and what that sort of reflects in her and what it reflects about life. So I want to explore that a bit. So first we're just going to look at some characteristics that you show in this world and then characteristics that you meet in others. So a couple that you show. Neutral. Now that's interesting because justice is very balanced and neutral. So I think that, maybe you take on a kind of almost King Solomon-esque type of leadership role here. Neutral about the outcome as long, I think, as it is productive, it's creative. If there was a battle in there, you're not necessarily taking sides. You're looking at bringing balance in. And you may even have some sort of almost judge-like role in there, potentially. And enthusiastic. You're neutral about the outcome, but enthusiastic about the journey, I would say. Then what do you meet? Clever. Yeah, clever people, other clever people like you. That's one of the things, there is a cleverness to a lot of the characters that turn up in these stories. Different ways of looking at things to inspire you. And dark. Some of them may be dark or some of them a bit mysterious. It's like the Wicked Witch of the East. You probably are coming across sort of like fantasy elements that reflect some of the things that have been difficult in your past too and that have been maybe clever, but you're actually being able to disconnect from that and stay enthusiastic with what you're doing. Let's see an astrology energy that you evidence there and one that comes towards you. So for you, Venus and Venus, great deal of beauty, great deal of love. You really love it in this energy. You really care about others. You come very, very much from the heart. It's very beautiful. This place is very beautiful, very creatively beautiful. And the energy coming towards you, Saturn and Uranus. So this is change. This is an energy of change. This might be why you're sort of neutral and you have to be careful with some of the people that you're dealing with. But this is the changing of the guard, actually. This is you coming into your sovereignty. That's what this is about. This is Arthur pulling Excalibur from the stone. That's the kind of energy we're seeing here. And understanding this is a changing of the guards. This is you taking on your legacy. This is how it's empowering you, creatively or otherwise. I do think that there's a very strong creative energy to this, but it's like you're the new generation of something creatively, if that's the case. And you have a responsibility for the changing of the guard, basically. So that's interesting. So let's see the magic that you show in there and the magic that you meet. So the magic energy around you in this space. Arenda, honor your mystical creative force. Yeah, this is where you are meant to come into your creative sovereignty, where you are creating something with a legacy, something that matters. You get there and you can like really tune into it and see how you can create, something that is abundant. The magic that you run into in others while you're there. Epiphany, reveal your gifts. There's ones that want you to start to use your gifts, step into your role, all that kind of thing. There may also be others who are challengers who want to understand who you are and want to see what those gifts are. But I think by and large, there's more of a sense, with that sidekick and the Oz energy of wanting you to be able to step into this, your mystical creative force. So let's see some stars to guide you in your sojourn in Oz, Wonderland, your own personal Oz or Wonderland, pile 2. Fixed. Being true to what you do, not giving up, really important. Aquarius, very future oriented, very other person oriented, like very clever. There's a lot of like intelligence around this. And Sagittarius, freedom, creative freedom, movement, all of that kind of stuff. It's definitely where you would go to break a creative block, connect into a higher purpose around it, and be able to get that kind of courage and resilience to see something through. So I do think, I felt right at the beginning, a big thing of this is for creative people to get past creative blocks, bring their ideas into being, get the abundance. But there's something also around stewardship, the changing the guard as well. So I feel like if you're in the creative arts, you're going to bring something new in, you're kind of shifting the dial somehow. And it's like you've almost got to do it in this space first before you feel, yeah, I'm confident to move forward with it. Okay, just to finish off, I want to get you a message from the Enchanted Forest, because I felt that's sort of the other deck that I have that maybe has a similar energy to this tarot deck, Journey to Oz and Wonderland. Authenticity attracts. Being authentic attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. When you stay true, you naturally filter out those who don't align with your path. Yeah, I think you find your people, you find your creative interests and your creative message, you find your true supporters, all of that kind of thing in this realm, and then you'll be able to find it more truly in the material world as well too. So I hope that was enjoyable. I hope it was fun. I hope you enjoyed your sojourn in Oz or Wonderland, your own personal one, and I hope it resonated. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, Pile 3, to your reading. So you came to the reading with the Chariot, which is portrayed here with the flying monkeys. So that's interesting. We are going to look, in each of these I've looked at the guidebook to talk about the literary illusion that connects to the card. And I just had a quick look at it before pressing record for this particular reading. And it was really because I was just a little bit concerned because I wasn't really familiar with these characters, and I've heard the flying monkeys terminology used around narcissism and used around people that support narcissistic people, but they're not being portrayed that way here at all. So I don't think we're looking at that. Though if we do get anything that suggests something like that, then it might be a kind of an illusion back there, but the way they're portrayed is different. This is definitely going to be around partnerships, relationships, and energies like that you explore when you're in this Wonderland, but also how you then translate that into the kind of life that you want to have, your positions, your status, and so forth. So there's something here about your destiny, how you elevate yourself for your destiny, how you connect with the right people. So I think this is a place that you go to almost dream it up and see it so that you can manifest it. Now, in terms of the book around the Chariot, what it says is, "We will carry you," replied the Monkey King, and no sooner had he spoken than two of the monkeys caught Dorothy in their arms and flew away with her. Others took the Scarecrow and the Woodman and the Lion, and one little donkey seized Toto and flew after them. Oh, it's not donkey, monkey. I need glasses, obviously. One little monkey seized Toto and flew after them. So it says the flying monkeys are known for their unwavering strength and determination. They joined Dorothy's adventure. After her triumphant defeat of the Wicked Witch, Dorothy cleverly used the golden cap to summon these remarkable creatures, and with their unmatched speed and agility, they carried her and her friends back to the Emerald City, ensuring her journey ended in victory. So I do feel that it's more a positive energy here than, as I say, the associations we have now around theories about narcissism, but it is interesting. It's interesting that terminology is being used, and we're looking at relationships and how that manifests. But I think this is more about you going towards your destiny. And I feel because we're talking about flying monkeys, it's like the Chariot elevates you and elevates all the aspects of you, elevating all the various characters in Dorothy's journey was kind of all the aspects of her and her own destiny that were being elevated. So I think that's what we're looking at here. So what we're going to do firstly with this beautiful tarot is that we're going to look at a little bit more about what your personal Wonderland is like, or personal Oz is like. Then what makes you feel at home there. We're also going to look at what surprises you, empowers you, makes you grow, that kind of energy. And then we're going to use a second tarot, which is the Isra Tarot by Susan Wiggum, who I have quite a few of her tarots. And this is a tarot that has a very urban feel to it. So it's kind of what you bring back to the real world once you've been in this world. So firstly, just a little bit more about your personal Wonderland or Oz, pile 3. We have the Page of Swords reversed, Strength reversed, the Hermit, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, the Nine of Cups reversed, okay, all right, and the King of Swords. Okay, so you go there because I would say at the moment you do feel that you need to find your destiny. You do feel that you need to be elevated into that. You're not feeling right now that it's happening in the real world, I would say. So you go there to explore the ways to break through that, to find the courage to speak your truth, to find your spiritual home. And also I think it's a little bit of a place of refuge while you're working through this, and to work out what is the difference, what is the strategy you need for a difference between your dream of second house type things, Ten of Pentacles, and what you're having at the moment. And it may be, because it's about people, it may be who are the right people to connect with to bring that about. Yeah, and the fact, I think there may actually also be a subtext issue or message in this, because we've got partners, other people, we've got the flying monkeys carrying Dorothy to safety, we've got the outcome. And yet here it's sort of like the Hermit energy is here. And I feel like with the Strength and the Page of Swords reverse, it's kind of to come into a realization that you don't need the flying monkeys to carry you. You don't need another person to carry you, that it's all within you. Once you can see that, you can start to define what you really want. And then you have the strategy. So then there's a kind of a guide energy that helps you with it. But it's almost as though there's a connection at the moment in your real world between the people that you're with and the life that you want, as opposed to your own destiny. And this is you to go within your own personal Oz or Wonderland to discover who you really are and how you want to communicate and so forth. So that if you have someone in your life, it's because you've chosen them, not because you need them for something like that, not because you need them to come and carry you somewhere. You can be your own chariot. I think there's a journey there to reclaim your own autonomy and your own sovereignty, so to speak. So let's see what makes you feel at home in this environment. The Ten of Swords reversed, the Emperor reversed, the Six of Wands, Judgment reversed, Ace of Wands. Okay. This is a place where you feel that the frustrations of the material world, the powers of the material world and the drama of the material world, they aren't there. Like that dissipates, and you allow yourself to believe in and feel recognized for your creative potential, for all that you can do. It's also where you're not judged too harshly. I think that many of you may feel that. You may feel that you're judged, or that how you're judged by others and recognized by others is the ticket to success. But in this world, that falls away, and your actual creative ideas come forward. And so judgment doesn't have to be a scary thing. It's very interesting in this deck that Judgment is a Jabberwocky. And the Jabberwocky is a very famous poem about a very scary being. So I feel as though it's saying that you escape the judgments of others that are not fair. You escape the blocks of others that are not fair. And this is a place where you can feel recognized for what you could bring to the table and what you want. But that's the thing, it's what you want. It's not, you don't necessarily need others to make this occur. So let's see what surprises, empowers, and makes you grow in this environment. Might be why I was feeling that ambivalence about the flying monkeys. It's not necessary. I mean, it is possible with this that for some of you, you are around something narcissistic, something where a relationship, your sense of self-worth and who you are is being influenced by something like that. And the flying monkeys, therefore, are not what you really want, even though they're portrayed positively in the book. It's just a sense of maybe you coming into your own sovereignty. So maybe that's why I sort of kept being drawn to that concept of the flying monkeys. So let's see, as I say, what surprises, empowers you or makes you grow in this environment. Three of Swords, Knight of Wands reversed, Wheel of Fortune, the Devil reversed. Okay. I do think, I'm going to call it now, I do think for some of you, you are in some sort of narcissistic relationship. That is part of this. So this is a place of escape for you to reconnect back with who you are and what you want. So what empowers you is the separation from that influence, slowing things down so that you can get things back into timing that you want, and freeing yourself from energies that are not working for you. So for some, that is absolutely what this is talking about. And this is a beautiful place to rediscover yourself. If that isn't the case, if it's more that you've just been blocked around what you're trying to create for yourself and finding the right connections, it separates you out from this feeling that you're relying on others. And again, lets you slow down enough to get back into timing and frees you from the blocks that you're in. So either way, it's freeing you from a situation that's difficult, and it's going back here, bringing you the inspiration and the strategy to do it. It's a place where you can do that because it's within you, it's because it's, like within your understanding or comprehension rather than filtered through another person. It's more pure on that level. So let's see what you bring back to the material world, having been in this Oz or this Wonderland. Seven of Pentacles reversed. High Priestess reversed. Two of Swords. Okay. So I think that you really work out there what's worth pursuing and what isn't. What will do a return on investment relationship-wise, materially, creatively, whatever it is. You've worked out, you've brought everything to the surface. There's a mirror for you in this world that shows you what's really going on. And it makes you feel confident that you can make decisions. Even if you don't have all the information in the material world, you've got enough information from there to make the decisions that you need to make, however this is playing out. Okay. So let's have a look at the characteristics that you show to others in this space and what you meet in this space. So characteristics that you show when you're in your personal Oz or Wonderland. Trailblazer. Yeah, this is where you can move forward. This is where you can really be you. You don't need them. You can fly just as fast. You're your own chariot, which is ultimately the real meaning of the chariot. It's finding your destiny. And chivalry. You may support and look after others there. That might be a way that you actually start to understand that it's all within you. What do you meet in terms of characteristics? Connected, those that you can feel more connected to. The right sort of connections. And lovable. Yeah, okay. I definitely think for anybody that relates to the narcissistic, either a narcissistic relationship or a narcissistic family or something like that, you find real connections that really care about you, that show you what you should have. This is a mirror of what you should have. And it brings out this sort of like active, chivalrous, positive sort of energy in you, rather than sort of feeling kind of beholden to others. You feel like you can create this. And those that you're connecting with are the right sort of energy. So that's lovely. Let's see some astrology energy, both that you have in this realm and that you meet in this realm. So what you have in this realm. Mercury and Venus. Yeah, more beautiful communication, more connection to what you want, more ideas that fit what you would want in terms of life and love, clarity on all of that. And you provide, this very lovely energy. And what you meet, Saturn and Neptune, breaking through the illusion, things to help you break through the illusion, the sort of strategy to do it, and the connection and the true positive energy towards you to allow you to do that. So let's see the magic that you have in this realm and that you meet in this realm. So the magic you have, liberation, free yourself. This is what it's really about. You becoming the chariot, freeing yourself from whatever Ever relationships or expectations were stopping you manifesting the life that you want. The magic that you meet in there, protection. Yeah, I think this is the sort of guide energy. And people that care, energies that care about you, energies that want the best for you, which is really lovely. Okay, let's get you just some stars to guide it. This is probably the most serious one. Like I always want these to be fun readings. It's probably the most serious one. But nevertheless, it does show there is a way to break through this and come into your own self. And this is sojourn in this sort of world where you can, whether you do it through dreams or meditation or just, writing a fantasy story or whatever it might be, this is you being able to liberate yourself. So the stars to guide you, the 9th house, might be through literature. You might find it in books. Like it might actually be good to read one or both of these books because you might be able to sort of connect in that way. There's a great learning in this and a great spiritual connection for you. And with Jupiter, kind of into the 2nd house, there's sort of abundance that you can bring in. Aries, yeah, you're starting to be the person who initiates rather than just follows. Aries are the great initiators of the zodiac. And 4th house. This is a place you feel really at home. This is really core to you, and this is where you find what's really core to you. So it's very powerful for you and it's the right home. If you have come from a narcissistic home, this is the home that you always wanted, and you can then create that with others. So just to finish off, I just want to get you a message or a bit of guidance or a blessing from the Enchanted Forest, because I feel like it's the closest fit maybe to going to Oz or Wonderland of the other decks that I have in my collection. So we have Spirit of Life. Remember, you are never alone. The Spirit of Life is with you. The world takes care of you. Allow yourself to rest in this realization and feel the lightness in you. You're going to find, if you are having trouble around relationships, family dynamics, whatever it is, this whole Spirit of Life energy is going to connect you to the right people. I think both in that realm and also outside of it. So I hope that this resonates for you. I hope it was helpful, and I hope it was still fun, even though it was a little bit heavier than some of the others. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings.